For a moment and imagine this: your mind is a vast and untamed kingdom. Every thought you think, every belief you hold builds or tears down this kingdom. Now ask yourself, are you building a fortress of strength or a fragile house of weakness? Mental weakness begins the moment you surrender your imagination to the tyranny of external circumstances. You say, I can't because they won't. I'm stuck because this is how life is. But let me tell you this: the world you see around you is not the master, it is the servant of your inner state. Strength starts with discipline. The undisciplined mind is like a ship without a captain, tossed around by the winds of fear, doubt, and failure. Train your thoughts as you would train a wild horse. Teach it to focus, to obey your will, and to create only that which uplifts and empowers you. When fear whispers in your ear, when doubt raises its voice, silence it. Speak with authority, I am stronger than this. I am the creator of my reality. The moment you let doubt dominate, you relinquish your power. And if you've done that before, decide right now to take it back. The mental strength does not mean the absence of hardship. Hardship will come. Resistance will rise. But hear me, resistance is not a wall to stop you, it is a mirror reflecting your fear. Face it, walk through it, and claim the strength that lies on the other side. Above all, assume the state of power. Your inner state defines your outer world. Stop saying, I am weak, even in jest. Stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstance. Instead, declare, I am resilient, I am capable, I am unstoppable. And do so with conviction, not because you wish it to be true, but because it is true. You are far stronger than you know. Stop being mentally weak, not by avoiding challenges, but by embracing them as opportunities to prove to yourself who you really are: a creator, a force, a master of your own mind. The choice is yours. Will you rise? Your mind is not just a collection of thoughts, ideas, and memories. It is a kingdom, a vast, sovereign realm over which you hold absolute authority. Like any kingdom, it can either flourish or crumble, depending on how well it is governed. Your thoughts are the citizens of this kingdom, and your beliefs act as its laws. The strength and prosperity of your inner world are directly tied to how diligently you guard and nurture this sacred domain. Many fail to realize the power they hold over their mental kingdom. They allow external circumstances, other people's opinions, and fleeting emotions to infiltrate and dictate the state of their mind. This is equivalent to leaving the gates of a fortress wide open to invaders. Mental weakness stems from this lack of vigilance. When you neglect to guard your thoughts, you permit negativity, doubt, and fear to take root, creating chaos within. But remember, no one can overthrow your kingdom unless you allow it. Your mind thrives when you treat it with respect and care. Think of your thoughts as seeds. What you plant will grow. If you allow seeds of doubt, fear, and failure to take root, your kingdom will soon be overrun with weeds, choking the potential for beauty and greatness. Conversely, if you deliberately plant thoughts of strength, faith, and confidence, your kingdom will flourish with abundance and resilience. The power lies entirely in your hands, or more accurately, in your mind. To guard your mental kingdom fiercely, you must first become aware of what you allow to enter. Every word you hear, every image you see, every conversation you engage in has the potential to influence your inner world. Do not consume negativity mindlessly. Be selective, just as a ruler would be with advisors and counsel. Surround yourself with uplifting words, empowering ideas, and people who inspire you. This is not about avoiding reality, but about choosing which realities to focus on and amplify within yourself. The greatest threat to your mental kingdom often comes from within. Self-doubt is the traitor that whispers lies in the quiet of your mind. It tells you that you are not enough, that your dreams are unattainable, that life is too hard. If left unchecked, these whispers grow into a chorus, drowning out the voice of your own inner strength. To combat this, you must actively challenge these thoughts. Speak with authority to yourself as a ruler commands their subjects. Say, I am capable. I am worthy. I am the master of my fate in doing so. You reclaim the power that self-doubt seeks to steal. Discipline is the cornerstone of any strong kingdom. Without it, even the most promising realm will fall into disarray. Mental discipline involves training your mind to focus on what matters, to let go of distractions, and to remain steadfast in the face of challenges. It is not an easy task, but it is an essential one. Each time you resist the urge to dwell on negativity or indulge in unproductive thoughts, you strengthen your kingdom. Over time, this discipline becomes second nature, and your mind becomes an unshakable fortress. Your thoughts are not passive entities, they are builders. Every thought lays a brick in the structure of your reality. What kind of kingdom are you constructing? Is it one of strength, confidence, and abundance, or one of fear, weakness, and lack? Understand that you hold the blueprint, the materials, and the tools. You decide the architecture of your inner world. When you treat your mind as a kingdom, you approach life with a sense of responsibility and power. You stop blaming circumstances, people, or fate for your struggles, and instead look within to find solutions. You recognize that the external world is but a reflection of the inner state of your mind. A strong and well-governed mental kingdom will naturally project strength and harmony into your life. No kingdom is built overnight, nor is it immune to challenges. There will be moments when you falter, when fear and doubt manage to slip past your defenses. But a wise ruler does not give up at the first sign of trouble. Instead, they learn, adapt, and strengthen their defenses. So too must you approach your mind. Guard it fiercely, nurture it daily, and govern it with wisdom. In doing so, you will create a kingdom within that no force in the external world can ever shake. Imagination is far more than idle daydreaming or fanciful musings. It is the most profound creative force you possess. It is the architect of your future, the builder of your reality, and the key to unlocking the life you desire. Your imagination is not limited by the constraints of the physical world. Instead, it operates on a higher plane, one where possibilities are infinite and the boundaries of reality are defined only by what you believe to be true. Yet many underestimate this power, treating it as insignificant or merely a source of entertainment. To do so is to surrender one of the greatest tools you have been given. When you imagine something, you give it life in the unseen realm. Every thought, vision, or picture you hold in your mind begins the process of creation. The world around you is a reflection of the collective imagination of humanity. Every invention, every piece of art, every solution to a problem first existed in someone's imagination. They saw it clearly in their mind's eye before it ever came into physical existence. This is the power of imagination. It bridges the gap between the intangible and the tangible, making the unseen seen. Mental weakness occurs when you hand over this power to external conditions. You allow the world around you, circumstances, challenges, and the opinions of others to dictate what you believe is possible. You say, I can't imagine a better future because my current situation is too difficult, but this is the very opposite of what imagination is for. It is not meant to reflect your current reality, it is meant to transcend it. When you surrender your imagination to the limitations of the physical world, you abandon your ability to create a new reality. Consider this: your imagination is always active. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly using it to shape your life. When you dwell on fears, worries, or negative outcomes, you are imagining a reality that you do not want. The mind does not differentiate between a vividly imagined scenario and actual reality. It responds as if both are equally real. Thus, when you focus on fear or doubt, you are planting the seeds of those experiences in your future. Mental weakness is allowing this process to go unchecked, letting your imagination be hijacked by negativity and external influences. To reclaim your power, you must consciously direct your imagination toward what you desire, not what you fear. Picture your goals as already accomplished. See yourself living the life you want, not in some distant future, but as if it is happening right now. Feel the emotions of joy, confidence, and gratitude that come with this vision. This is not wishful thinking, it is the deliberate use of imagination to create a new state of being. When you consistently hold these images in your mind, you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with them, drawing them into your reality. Imagination is the birthplace of resilience. In moments of struggle, when the world seems to conspire against you, your imagination can become your sanctuary. Instead of focusing on the difficulties, imagine yourself overcoming them. Visualize solutions, opportunities, and outcomes that serve your highest good. This mental strength keeps you from being overwhelmed by temporary setbacks and helps you maintain faith in your ability to succeed. The greatest leaders, visionaries, and creators throughout history understood this principle. They did not let external conditions dictate their vision. Instead, they used their imagination to shape the future they desired. They dared to dream of what others considered impossible and held steadfast to that vision until it became reality. This is the essence of mental strength, believing in the power of your imagination, even when the evidence around you suggests otherwise. To wield this power effectively, you must train your mind to focus on what uplifts and empowers you. This requires discipline and awareness. Pay attention to the images you entertain in your mind. Are they aligned with the life you want to create, or are they shaped by fear and limitation? Remember, every thought is a seed, and every seed grows. Choose to plant thoughts that nourish your dreams and inspire your spirit. Your imagination is the compass that guides you through life. It points you toward your deepest desires and shows you what is possible when you dare to believe. Do not let it be clouded by doubt or hijacked by circumstances. Claim it as your own, nurture it with care, and use it to shape a future that reflects your highest potential. In doing so, you will discover that imagination is not just a creative force, it is the very essence of your power. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many perceive it as a form of restriction, an unwelcome set of rules that limits freedom and spontaneity. But true discipline is not oppression, it is liberation in its purest form. It is the art of self-mastery, the conscious decision to align your thoughts, actions, and intentions with your highest goals and aspirations. Through discipline, you unlock the power to shape your destiny, transforming your life into a deliberate and purposeful journey, rather than a series of random events dictated by external forces. At the core of discipline lies the ability to govern your thoughts. Most people allow their minds to wander unchecked, jumping from one thought to another without intention or direction. They become victims of their own mental chatter, reacting to every doubt, fear, and fleeting desire that arises. This lack of control leads to chaos and stagnation, as they are unable to focus on the actions necessary to achieve their goals. Discipline changes this dynamic. It enables you to take charge of your mind, directing it toward what serves your growth and dismissing what does not. When you master your thoughts, you gain mastery over your life. Your thoughts are the seeds from which your reality grows. What you focus on expands, and what you consistently think about becomes your experience. Without discipline, your thoughts are at the mercy of external influences, news, social media, negative people, and fleeting emotions. But with discipline, you become the gatekeeper of your mind, allowing only those thoughts that align with your vision and values to take root. This mental clarity empowers you to make decisions and take actions that move you closer to your goals. Discipline is not about denying yourself pleasure or joy, it is about choosing the things that truly matter over fleeting gratifications. It is the ability to delay immediate rewards in favor of long-term fulfillment. This principle applies to every area of life. Whether it's pursuing a career goal, maintaining a healthy lifestyle, or cultivating meaningful relationships, discipline ensures that your actions are aligned with your deeper purpose. In this sense, discipline is the ultimate expression of self-respect. It is the acknowledgement that your dreams and aspirations are worth the effort and commitment they require. The path of discipline is not always easy. It demands effort, focus, and persistence. There will be moments of doubt, frustration, and temptation to give up. But it is precisely in these moments that discipline reveals its true strength. It teaches you to push through resistance, to keep going even when the results are not yet visible. Over time, this consistent effort builds momentum, turning small daily actions into significant achievements. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment, the force that transforms potential into reality. The discipline liberates you from the chaos of indecision and regret. When you have a clear sense of purpose and the discipline to follow through, you no longer waste energy second-guessing your choices or lamenting missed opportunities. Your path becomes focused and intentional, free from the distractions that pull others off course. This clarity brings a sense of peace and confidence, as you know that you are actively shaping your life rather than passively reacting to it. Discipline is a form of freedom. It frees you from the grip of habits and behaviors that do not serve you. It liberates you from the tyranny of doubt and fear, allowing you to pursue your dreams with unwavering confidence. Through discipline, you become the master of your own destiny, charting a course toward a life of purpose, fulfillment, and joy. So embrace discipline not as a burden but as a gift. Recognize it as the key to unlocking your potential and living the life you were meant to live. Each act of discipline, no matter how small, is a step towards self-mastery. And in mastering yourself, you master the world around you, creating a reality that reflects your highest aspirations and truest desires. Discipline is not a limitation, it is the path to true liberation. The most persistent and insidious critic you will ever face is not someone external, it is the voice within you. This inner critic, often born from fear, past failures, or the conditioning of others, can be relentless in sowing seeds of doubt. It questions your abilities, undermines your confidence, and tells you that your dreams are too ambitious or unattainable. Left unchecked, this voice can paralyze you, keeping you trapped in a cycle of hesitation and inaction. To truly rise above limitations, you must train your mind to silence this doubter within and replace it with unwavering faith in your vision. Self-doubt begins as a whisper, a fleeting thought that questions whether you are good enough or capable enough. But if you give it your attention, it grows louder, embedding itself in your psyche and shaping your beliefs. These doubts often stem from past experiences, times when you failed, were criticized, or felt inadequate. Over time, these moments create a narrative in your mind, convincing you that you are defined by your shortcomings rather than your potential. This narrative is a lie, but it is a convincing one. And if you listen to it, it becomes your reality. The first step in silencing the doubter within is recognizing that this voice is not you. It is a fragment of your mind shaped by fear and conditioned responses, but it does not define your true self. Your essence is not the sum of your fears or failures, it is the infinite potential within you, the creative force capable of shaping your reality. When you understand this, you can begin to separate yourself from the voice of doubt and see it for what it truly is, a distortion, not a truth. To silence the inner doubter, you must cultivate awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts, particularly in moments of challenge or decision. When doubt arises, do not suppress or ignore it, acknowledge it and question its validity. Ask yourself, is this thought based on truth, or is it a projection of fear? Most often, you will find that doubt has no solid foundation, it is merely an echo of past insecurities or external influences. By challenging these thoughts, you strip them of their power and begin to reclaim control over your mind. Replacing doubt with faith in your vision requires intentional effort. Faith is not blind optimism or wishful thinking, it is a steadfast belief in the reality of what you desire, even before it manifests. To cultivate this faith, you must feed your mind with thoughts and images that support your goals. Visualize your dreams as already accomplished. See yourself living the life you desire with all the joy, confidence, and fulfillment that comes with it. The more vividly you imagine this reality, the more your mind begins to accept it as true, replacing doubt with certainty. Affirmations are another powerful tool in this process. Speak words of encouragement and empowerment to yourself daily. Replace negative self-talk with affirmations that align with your vision. Instead of saying, "I don't think I can do this," declare, "I am capable, determined, and unstoppable." These words, repeated consistently, rewire your mind, reinforcing a new narrative of self-belief. Over time, the inner critic's voice grows weaker, drowned out by the louder and more confident voice of your true self. Action is the ultimate antidote to doubt. The more you act in alignment with your goals, the more evidence you gather of your own capability. Each step forward, no matter how small, builds confidence and erodes the foundation of self-doubt. Even in moments of failure, action teaches you resilience and adaptability, proving that setbacks are not the end but stepping stones to success. Faith in your vision also requires patience. Doubt thrives on impatience, whispering that progress is too slow or that obstacles are insurmountable. But faith understands that the journey is as important as the destination. Trust in the timing of your life and in your ability to navigate whatever comes your way. When doubt arises, remind yourself that every great achievement was once just a vision held by someone who refused to let fear dictate their actions. In silencing the doubter within, you do not eradicate fear entirely, you transform it. You learn to see fear not as a barrier, but as a signal that you are stepping beyond your comfort zone and into growth. You recognize that doubt is a natural part of the process, but refuse to let it define or deter you. Your inner voice has the power to shape your reality. When it speaks words of doubt, it creates limitation. When it speaks words of faith, it creates possibility. Train your mind to be your greatest ally, not your harshest critic. Replace the voice of fear with the voice of belief. Hold steadfast to your vision, nurture it with unwavering confidence, and watch as the world around you begins to reflect the boundless potential within. Mental strength is not defined by a life free of challenges or the absence of difficulty. Rather, it is forged in the fire of resistance and demonstrated in the ability to persist despite obstacles. Resistance is a natural part of any journey toward growth, success, or transformation. It often appears as doubt, fear, setbacks, or external opposition, but at its core, resistance is merely the shadow of fear, a transient force that tests your resolve. True strength lies in understanding this and moving forward with unwavering determination. Resistance can take many forms. It might show up as the voice in your mind that tells you to quit when things get hard, or as external circumstances that seem to conspire against your progress. It might come in the form of people doubting your vision, financial challenges, or a string of failures that make you question your path. Whatever its guise, resistance is not a sign that you should stop, it is an invitation to rise. It is the universe asking you, how much do you want this? The first step in persisting beyond resistance is recognizing it for what it is, a temporary force, not an absolute barrier. Resistance feeds on fear, fear of failure, fear of judgment, fear of the unknown. But fear itself is often baseless, a projection of what might happen rather than what is actually happening. When you confront resistance with clarity and courage, its power begins to diminish. Persistence requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing resistance as a sign that something is wrong, view it as evidence that you are on the path of growth. Challenges are not obstacles meant to deter you, they are milestones that mark your progress. Each time you encounter resistance, you have an opportunity to strengthen your resolve, deepen your commitment, and refine your approach. Resistance is not the enemy, it is the teacher. Mental strength is also rooted in preparation. When you know that resistance is inevitable, you can prepare for it mentally and emotionally. This does not mean anticipating every challenge or worrying about what might go wrong. It means cultivating a mindset that is resilient and adaptable. Expect resistance, but do not fear it. Instead, arm yourself with the knowledge that you have the power to overcome whatever comes your way. Action is the greatest weapon against resistance. When doubt and fear try to paralyze you, the simple act of taking a step forward disrupts their hold. Each action, no matter how small, builds momentum. It sends a message to your mind that you are in control, not the fear or hesitation trying to stop you. Persistence is not about moving mountains in a single day. It is about showing up every day, chipping away at the obstacles, and refusing to give up. In moments of resistance, it is crucial to return to your why. Why did you start this journey? What is the vision that drives you? What is at stake if you give up? Your reasons for persisting must be stronger than the excuses resistance offers. When your why is clear and compelling, it becomes a source of strength that anchors you during storms of doubt. Persistence is not about ignoring pain or pretending that challenges do not exist. It is about acknowledging the difficulty but choosing to continue anyway. It is about trusting that each step forward, no matter how small, brings you closer to your goal. Resistance may slow you down, but it cannot stop you unless you allow it to. Faith plays a crucial role in persisting beyond resistance. Faith is the belief in the unseen, the conviction that your efforts will bear fruit even when the results are not yet visible. It is the quiet confidence that the universe responds to persistence, aligning circumstances and opportunities in your favor as you stay the course. Your life is shaped not by external circumstances, but by the mental states you embody. Every thought, emotion, and belief you hold influences the reality you experience. This is the fundamental power of consciousness it creates. To transform your life, you must first transform your mind, choosing to assume the state of power regardless of the conditions around you. Strength, resilience, and confidence are not traits reserved for the fortunate. They are mental states you can adopt and live into, no matter what challenges you face. Circumstances are always shifting, like waves upon the ocean. But your inner state can be as steady as the deep waters beneath the surface. When you assume the state of power, you anchor yourself in an unshakable foundation. This state is not dependent on the approval of others, material success, or ideal conditions. It is a choice to embody a mindset that says, I am capable, I am unbreakable, and I am enough. This choice begins within and radiates outward, influencing every aspect of your life. To embody power, start by observing your current mental states. How do you respond to setbacks? Do you shrink in the face of difficulty, or do you stand firm? Many of us unconsciously adopt states of fear, doubt, or weakness, allowing these emotions to dictate our actions and limit our potential. The key is awareness. You must become conscious of these patterns and decide to replace them with states that serve your highest vision. Strength is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to face it without losing your center. To assume the state of strength, focus on what you can control: your thoughts, reactions, and actions. When life presents challenges, remind yourself that you have faced difficulties before and emerged stronger. Strength is cultivated through persistence, through the act of showing up for yourself, even when the path is unclear. Tell yourself, I have the power to handle this, and watch as your resolve grows. Resilience is the ability to recover, to bend without breaking, and to adapt in the face of adversity. When you embody resilience, you see setbacks not as failures but as opportunities to learn and grow. Life will not always go according to plan, but the state of resilience allows you to navigate the unexpected with grace and determination. Practice reframing challenges as stepping stones. When something goes wrong, ask yourself, what is this teaching me? How can I use this to become better? In doing so, you transform difficulties into strength. Confidence is the unwavering belief in your own abilities and worth. It is not arrogance or a false sense of superiority. It is the quiet assurance that you are capable of achieving your goals. Confidence begins with self-acceptance. To embody confidence, you must let go of the need for external validation. You are not defined by the opinions of others or by temporary outcomes. Look within and affirm your inherent value. Visualize yourself as the person you want to be, walking, speaking, and acting with confidence. The more you embody this state, the more naturally it becomes a part of who you are. Assuming the state of power requires imagination and repetition. Imagine yourself as the strongest, most resilient, and most confident version of yourself. Feel it in your body, in the way you carry yourself, in the tone of your voice. Practice this daily until it becomes second nature. Your subconscious mind does not distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. When you consistently assume the state of power, your mind begins to align your thoughts, actions, and external reality with this state. Do not wait for external circumstances to change before embodying power. If you wait for the right conditions, you will wait forever. True power is born in moments of uncertainty and challenge, when everything around you suggests weakness but you choose strength. When you feel overwhelmed, take a deep breath, center yourself and declare, "I am powerful." These simple words, spoken with conviction, can shift your mental state in an instant. As you practice assuming the state of power, you will notice changes in your external world. Opportunities will appear, obstacles will seem less daunting, and people will respond to the energy you radiate. This is not coincidence, it is the natural result of aligning your inner state with the outcomes you desire. The world reflects back to you the state you consistently embody. Every moment offers a choice. You can choose to embody fear, doubt, and limitation, or you can choose to embody strength, resilience, and confidence. This choice is the foundation of your power. Assume the state of power, and you will create a life that reflects your inner strength. In life, the journey to mental strength and empowerment begins within. Your mind is the foundation of your reality, and every thought, belief, and state you embody shapes the world around you. By treating your mind as a kingdom, harnessing the power of imagination, cultivating discipline, silencing self-doubt, persisting beyond resistance, and assuming the state of power, you create a life of purpose, resilience, and fulfillment. Challenges will come, but they are not meant to defeat you. They are opportunities to reveal your strength. Your thoughts are the seeds of your future, and with conscious effort, you can sow a garden of confidence, resilience, and unshakable belief in your own potential. When you choose strength over weakness, faith over fear, and action over hesitation, you align yourself with the boundless possibilities of creation. Every great transformation begins with a single decision to step into your power and claim the life you deserve. The path may not always be easy, but it is always worth it. Trust yourself, trust the process, and know that you are far stronger than you realize. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to embrace this journey toward mental empowerment. May your life be a reflection of the strength and greatness that already resides within you. My friends, you hold within you the key to transforming the impossible into the inevitable. What you seek is not far away, it is within you, waiting for your recognition. Tonight, as you stand on the threshold of sleep, I invite you to repeat these words 10 times with unwavering faith. Do not merely recite them, feel them. Feel the reality of those words as though they were already true. Imagine yourself stepping into the life you desire. Hear the sounds, see the colors, and breathe in the air of your fulfilled dreams. As you repeat these words, you are speaking directly to your subconscious mind. This sacred gateway between the seen and unseen will take your words and mold reality around them. Let no doubt, no fear enter your heart during this practice. The world may tell you it is impossible, but the world is a reflection of your inner state. Change the state within, and the world must follow. Repeat this affirmation 10 times with conviction. Do not look for evidence outside you. Instead, know that the evidence is forming even now. Feel gratitude as though you've already received what you seek. Gratitude is the sign that you trust the process. It is the mark of a heart that knows its power. Persist in this practice each evening. Let it be the last thought you take into sleep. Let it sink deeply into your being. For what you plant in your subconscious mind will sprout and grow, no matter how impossible it seems. All things are possible to the one who believes. So tonight, take up this simple practice. Repetition is one of the most profound tools available to shape your reality. It is the silent architect of belief, a force that molds your subconscious mind and transforms the seemingly impossible into the inevitable. When you repeat a thought, a word, or an affirmation consistently, you begin to embed it deeply within your consciousness. What you repeat, you believe, and what you believe, you manifest into your life. This is not merely a poetic notion, but a fundamental law of how the mind works. Every belief you currently hold, whether empowering or limiting, was born out of repetition. As children, we absorb the words and ideas presented to us by those around us, our parents, teachers, and society. These words, repeated over time, became truths within us, shaping the way we see the world and ourselves. If you were told repeatedly that you were capable and loved, you likely grew up with confidence and self-worth. Conversely, if you were exposed to negative words or limiting ideas, those too may have taken root. This demonstrates the power of repetition in forming our inner dialogue, which in turn creates the framework for how we experience reality. Repetition works because the subconscious mind, which governs the majority of our thoughts and behaviors, learns through consistency. Unlike the conscious mind, which analyzes and questions, the subconscious simply accepts repeated input as truth. It does not differentiate between what is real and what is imagined. It simply follows the blueprint it is given. This is why consistent repetition of affirmations, visualizations, or thoughts is so powerful. It bypasses the conscious mind's skepticism and impresses the desired reality onto the subconscious, which then begins to manifest it in your outer world. To harness this power, one must first understand that repetition is not a passive process. It is not enough to simply utter words mindlessly. True repetition involves engaging the heart and mind fully. When you repeat an affirmation, for instance, you must feel its truth. If you are affirming abundance, you must feel the joy, relief, and gratitude of already living in abundance. The emotion you attach to the repeated words amplifies their impact, embedding them even deeper into your subconscious mind. It is the fusion of consistent repetition and heartfelt emotion that makes this practice transformative. This process also requires faith and persistence. The subconscious mind does not operate on a strict timeline. Just as a seed takes time to grow into a tree, the repeated thoughts and affirmations you plant in your subconscious need time to take root and bear fruit. During this period, it is essential to persist, even when external circumstances appear unchanged. Many people give up too soon, dismissing the power of repetition because they do not see immediate results. But understand this: the outer world is a delayed reflection of your inner world. The changes you make within through repetition will inevitably be mirrored in your reality if you remain steadfast. One of the greatest barriers to the power of repetition is doubt. Doubt is the voice of the conscious mind, questioning whether what you are repeating is true or possible. This is why it is crucial to immerse yourself fully in the process. Do not allow the conscious mind to interrupt or undermine your efforts. Treat your affirmations and repeated thoughts as sacred, as unassailable truths. Over time, as you persist, doubt will dissolve, replaced by an unshakable belief in the reality you are creating. Repetition also has the power to dismantle limiting beliefs. For every negative thought or belief you have, there is a corresponding positive affirmation that can overwrite it. If you have long believed that success is out of reach, begin to repeat affirmations that declare success as your birthright. If you have struggled with feelings of unworthiness, affirm your inherent value and lovability. At first, these affirmations may feel foreign or even false. This is natural, as the mind resists change. But with consistent repetition, these new affirmations will begin to feel familiar, then believable, and finally they will become your truth. One of the most effective times to engage in repetition is before sleep. In the moments before you drift into slumber, the conscious mind relaxes and the subconscious becomes more receptive. This is a powerful window to repeat affirmations or visualize your desired reality. What you impress upon your mind during this time will continue to play like a record in your subconscious throughout the night, deepening its impact. Repetition is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. It is the tool through which you can rewrite the script of your life. Whether you seek to manifest love, success, health, or inner peace, the consistent repetition of affirmations aligned with your desires will pave the way. It bends the impossible to your will, not through force, but through unwavering faith and persistence. Every great achievement in history was first a thought, repeated often enough to become a belief, and then acted upon until it became reality. You have the same power within you. Start today. Choose the words, thoughts, and ideas you wish to define your life, and repeat them consistently. Through repetition, you will anchor new beliefs. And through these beliefs, you will create a new reality, one where the impossible is not only possible but already yours. Imagination is the foundation upon which all creation rests. It is the limitless realm where ideas are born, dreams take shape, and the impossible begins its journey toward becoming possible. When you engage your imagination with purpose and intention, you harness the most powerful tool available for manifesting your desires. Everything that exists in the physical world was first conceived in the mind of someone who dared to imagine it. Every breakthrough, every invention, every masterpiece began as a vision held within the creative mind. Your imagination is not just a fleeting daydream or an idle escape from reality, it is the blueprint for your life. The subconscious mind, which governs the majority of your reality, cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. It responds to the images and feelings you hold in your mind as though they are already true. This is why imagination is so transformative. When you visualize your desires with clarity and conviction, you plant the seeds of their fulfillment within your subconscious mind, which then begins to manifest them into your outer experience. The process of creation through imagination begins with clarity. You must know what you want in vivid detail. It is not enough to have a vague desire for happiness, success, or love. You must define what these things look and feel like to you. Close your eyes and picture your desired outcome as though it were happening right now. See yourself living the life you long for. Imagine the sights, sounds, and sensations that accompany it. If you desire wealth, visualize yourself surrounded by the symbols of abundance. If you desire love, imagine the warmth of connection and the joy of companionship. The clearer your mental image, the stronger the impression it makes on your subconscious mind. But imagination alone is not enough, it must be accompanied by feeling. Feeling is the energy that brings your vision to life. When you imagine your desires, immerse yourself in the emotions they evoke. Feel the joy, gratitude, and excitement as though your desires are already fulfilled. This emotional connection is what makes your imagination magnetic. It draws your desires toward you with a force that is irresistible. Without feeling, your visualization is like a blueprint without builders. It remains an unfulfilled idea. But when you add emotion, you activate the creative power needed to bring it into reality. It is important to approach this process with faith and conviction. Many people dismiss their imagination as mere fantasy, failing to realize its true power. But those who understand the creative potential of the mind know that what they imagine today can become their reality tomorrow. Do not allow doubt to creep in. When you visualize your desires, do so with the absolute belief that they are possible. Even if the world tells you otherwise, hold fast to your vision. The outer world is only a reflection of past thoughts and beliefs. By imagining a new reality, you are setting the stage for a new reflection. Imagination is especially powerful when used consistently. Like a sculptor chiseling away at a block of marble, you must return to your vision repeatedly, refining and reinforcing it. Make it a daily practice to spend time in quiet contemplation, visualizing your desires as vividly and emotionally as possible. The more you do this, the more deeply your vision will take root in your subconscious mind. Over time, you will begin to notice changes in your thoughts, feelings, and actions, all aligning with the reality you have imagined. These changes are the first signs that your vision is becoming real. Another key aspect of using imagination as a blueprint is to focus on the end result, not the means. Many people become fixated on how their desires will manifest, trying to control every step of the process. But this approach only limits the infinite possibilities available to you. Trust that your subconscious mind, in conjunction with the universal creative force, knows the best way to bring your vision to life. Your role is not to figure out the how, but to remain steadfast in your vision of the what, let go of the need to control, and instead surrender to the process, knowing that your imagined reality is already on its way to you. It is also important to approach imagination with a sense of playfulness and ease. The act of visualization should not feel like a chore or a rigid task. Instead, it should be a joyful and creative experience. When you engage your imagination with a sense of wonder and excitement, you tap into its limitless potential. This light-hearted approach also helps to quiet the doubts and fears of the conscious mind, allowing your vision to take root more easily. Imagination is the seed of all creation, but like any seed, it requires care and attention to grow. Water it with faith, nurture it with feeling, and protect it from the weeds of doubt and negativity. As you do, you will find that the impossible begins to take shape in your life. Your imagination is not a passive escape from reality, it is the active creation of reality. When you visualize and feel as though the impossible is already real, you invite it into your experience with an irresistible force. Trust in this process and watch as the blueprint of your imagination becomes the foundation of your life. Words, while powerful, are merely the starting point in the process of manifestation. They carry intention and direction, but without the depth of emotion, they remain hollow and ineffective. It is the feeling behind the words that brings them to life. Emotions are the catalyst that transforms a mere statement into a living reality. When you affirm something, it is not the words themselves that create change, but the truth you feel behind them. The emotions you generate are the fuel that propels your desires from thought to form. To manifest effectively, you must feel deeply. Imagine planting a seed in fertile soil. The seed alone does not grow unless it is nurtured with water, sunlight, and care. Similarly, your words are the seed, and your feelings are the nourishment that allows them to take root and flourish. Without feeling, affirmations are like seeds scattered on barren ground. There is potential, but nothing takes hold. When you connect your emotions to your words, you give them life and power, creating an unbreakable link between your desires and your reality. Feeling deeply begins with immersing yourself in the experience of already having what you desire. This is not a future projection or a wishful thought, but a present moment realization. Close your eyes and visualize your desire as though it is already fulfilled. Then go further, step into the scene. What does it feel like to live that reality? How does it change your emotions, your thoughts, and your actions? Let yourself become fully absorbed in the experience, engaging all your senses. See the colors, hear the sounds, and most importantly, feel the emotions associated with your fulfilled desire. Is it joy, gratitude, relief? Whatever the feeling, allow it to flood your entire being. This emotional connection is the bridge between where you are and where you wish to be. When you feel the truth of your affirmation, you signal to your subconscious mind that it is real. The subconscious does not argue or question, it accepts what you impress upon it as truth. By feeling deeply, you bypass the doubts and limitations of the conscious mind, creating a direct path for your desires to take root in your inner world. From there, the outer world begins to shift, aligning with the new reality you have created within. It is important to note that the quality of your feelings matters as much as their intensity. Negative emotions such as fear, doubt, or frustration can act as barriers to manifestation, while positive emotions like joy, love, and gratitude accelerate the process. This is why cultivating a sense of gratitude for what you desire even before it arrives is so powerful. Gratitude is a declaration of trust and faith. It says to the universe, I believe this is already mine. When you feel grateful in advance, you align yourself with the frequency of your desired reality, drawing it closer with effortless ease. Consistency is another vital aspect of feeling deeply. Manifestation is not a one-time event, but a continuous practice. You must return to the feeling of your desire regularly, reinforcing it until it becomes second nature. This repetition is what transforms a fleeting emotion into a permanent state of being. Over time, the feelings you generate will begin to influence your thoughts, beliefs, and actions, creating a powerful ripple effect that transforms your life from the inside out. One of the challenges many face is bridging the gap between their current reality and the feelings of their desired reality. It can feel unnatural or even dishonest to affirm something you do not yet see in your physical world. But this is where imagination becomes your greatest ally. Instead of focusing on what is missing, focus on what could be. Allow yourself to dream without limits, letting go of the how and simply embracing the what. The more vividly you imagine, the easier it becomes to generate the feelings associated with your desires. You must also release any resistance or attachment to the outcome. Feeling deeply does not mean forcing yourself into a state of joy or pretending to be happy when you are not. True feeling arises from alignment, not from effort. If you find it difficult to connect with the emotions of your desired reality, start with small, simple steps. Focus on what already brings you joy or gratitude in your current life. Build a foundation of positive emotions, and then extend those feelings to your affirmations. This gradual approach allows you to cultivate a genuine connection to your desires without strain or pressure. Feeling deeply is about embodying the truth of your desires. It is about living as though your affirmation is already real, not just in words but in every fiber of your being. This does not mean ignoring your present circumstances, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you are creating. When you feel deeply, you become a vibrational match to your desires, and the universe responds in kind. Let your emotions be the driving force behind your words. Speak them with conviction, but feel them with your whole heart. Let the joy, gratitude, and excitement of your fulfilled desires radiate from within you. As you do, you will find that the line between imagination and reality begins to blur. The truth you feel within will become the truth you see without, and the life you have dreamed of will unfold before you with grace and ease. The present tense is the cornerstone of manifestation. When you speak and imagine as though your desires have already come to pass, you align your mind and energy with the reality you wish to create. This is not merely a linguistic choice, but a profound shift in consciousness. By declaring I am instead of I will be, you step into the power of the present moment, where creation takes place. The universe does not operate on a timeline of future promises, it responds to the reality you embody now. Many people make the mistake of framing their desires in the future tense, I will have, I will be, or I hope to achieve. While these statements may carry good intentions, they keep your desires perpetually out of reach, always on the horizon, but never in your grasp. When you affirm in the future tense, you are acknowledging the absence of your desire in the present. This creates a gap between where you are and where you want to be, and that gap can become a barrier to manifestation. The power of the present tense lies in its immediacy. When you say I am abundant or I am loved, you affirm that these truths already exist within you. You do not need to wait for external circumstances to validate them. By claiming your desires as present realities, you send a clear and unwavering message to your subconscious mind. The subconscious does not question or analyze, it accepts what you impress upon it as fact. By speaking in the present tense, you effectively program your mind to operate as though your desires are already fulfilled, setting the stage for them to manifest in your outer world. This practice requires a shift in perspective. Instead of seeing yourself as someone striving toward a goal, you must see yourself as someone who has already arrived. This does not mean denying your current circumstances, but rather choosing to focus on the reality you are creating. When you embody the feeling of your desires in the present moment, you become a magnet for their physical manifestation. Your thoughts, emotions, and actions align with your new reality, creating a powerful synergy that propels you forward. Imagination is a crucial tool in this process. To live in the present tense of your desires, you must first create a vivid mental picture of what that reality looks and feels like. Close your eyes and see yourself as the person you wish to be. What are you doing? How do you carry yourself? What emotions fill your heart? Engage all your senses to make the experience as real as possible. Then, affirm this reality with statements like I am successful, I am healthy, or I am at peace. These declarations are not mere words, but powerful declarations of your identity. Feeling is the key to making these affirmations effective. Words spoken without emotion lack the energy needed to influence your subconscious mind. When you say I am, you must feel the truth of it deeply. Imagine the joy, gratitude, and confidence that come with having your desires fulfilled. Let those emotions fill every part of your being. This emotional resonance is what gives your affirmations their creative power. Without it, your words remain empty. Another critical aspect of using the present tense is consistency. It is not enough to affirm your desires once and expect immediate results. You must return to this practice daily, reinforcing your belief until it becomes second nature. Over time, these affirmations will reshape your self-concept, altering the way you see yourself and the world around you. As your inner reality shifts, your outer reality will follow. It is also important to silence the voice of doubt. When you begin affirming in the present tense, your conscious mind may resist. It may remind you of your current circumstances or point out the gap between your affirmations and your reality. This is normal, but you must not give these doubts power. Instead, return to your affirmations with even greater conviction. Remember, the conscious mind is limited by logic and past experiences, while the subconscious mind operates on belief. By consistently affirming your desires in the present tense, you override the doubts of the conscious mind and program your subconscious to accept a new truth. The present tense also creates a sense of urgency and focus. When you declare, "I am," you eliminate procrastination and hesitation. You are no longer waiting for the right time or the perfect circumstances because you have already claimed your desires as your own. This mindset encourages you to take inspired action, aligning your behavior with your affirmations. Instead of passively hoping for change, you become an active participant in the manifestation process. Living in the present tense is not about pretending or ignoring reality. It is about choosing to see and embody the reality you wish to create. It is a bold declaration of faith in your creative power and the infinite possibilities of the universe. By speaking and imagining as though your desires have already happened, you step into a reality where the impossible becomes possible. You are no longer a seeker but a creator, shaping your world with every thought, word, and feeling. When you embrace the present tense, you unlock the true power of manifestation. You stop chasing your desires and start living them. This shift transforms not only your external circumstances but also your inner state of being. It cultivates a sense of confidence, peace, and joy that cannot be shaken. So declare with conviction, "I am," and watch as your words become your reality. The power of persistence in belief cannot be overstated. In the journey of manifestation, the external world often presents challenges, contradictions, and delays that can test your resolve. Yet the secret to creating the life you desire lies in your ability to persist in your inner conviction, regardless of what appearances suggest. This unwavering faith in your inner vision is the force that molds reality to align with your desires. Reality is not dictated by what you see, but by what you hold steadfastly true within. To persist means to maintain your belief, even when circumstances seem contrary. It is easy to feel confident and secure when the world reflects your desires back to you. But the real test of your faith comes when it does not. The world outside is not fixed, it is a reflection of your internal state. If you waver in your belief, the external world mirrors that doubt. Conversely, if you persist, holding fast to the truth within you, the outer world must eventually conform. This persistence is not about ignoring the present reality or pretending that challenges do not exist. Instead, it is about recognizing that the present is merely a snapshot of past thoughts and beliefs. It is the result of what you previously held as true, not a permanent condition. By understanding this, you gain the power to transcend appearances and focus on the reality you are actively creating. You are not bound by what is, you are free to shape what will be. Persistence requires inner discipline. The mind naturally wants to react to what it sees, labeling things as good or bad, possible or impossible. But true creators learn to quiet these reactions and return to their inner vision. When the external world presents evidence that contradicts your desire, resist the urge to give it power. Instead, reaffirm your belief in the reality you are creating. Each time you do, you strengthen the foundation of your new reality and weaken the hold of the old. One of the most effective ways to persist despite appearances is through imagination. Imagination is the bridge between the seen and the unseen, the tool that allows you to experience your desired reality even before it manifests. When the outer world feels overwhelming or discouraging, retreat into your imagination. Close your eyes and immerse yourself in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. See it clearly, hear the sounds, and feel the emotions associated with it. This practice not only reinforces your belief but also shifts your inner state, which in turn influences your outer reality. Another key to persistence is emotional resilience. The journey to manifestation is rarely a straight path. There may be moments of doubt, frustration, or even despair. These emotions are natural, but they do not have to derail you. Instead of suppressing them, acknowledge their presence and gently redirect your focus to your inner truth. Remind yourself that your current emotions are temporary, but your vision is eternal. By staying anchored in your belief, you can navigate these emotional waves without losing sight of your goal. Gratitude is a powerful ally in maintaining persistence. When you feel gratitude for your desired reality as though it has already manifested, you shift your focus from lack to abundance. Gratitude is an acknowledgement of the truth you hold within, and it strengthens your connection to that truth. It transforms your perspective, allowing you to see even the smallest signs of progress as evidence of your manifestation. This positive reinforcement fuels your persistence, keeping your belief alive and vibrant. It is also important to surround yourself with supportive influences. The people, environments, and information you engage with can either strengthen or weaken your resolve. Choose to immerse yourself in inspiration and positivity. Seek out those who understand and respect your journey, and distance yourself from voices of doubt or negativity. Your belief is a sacred space, and it must be protected from anything that might compromise it. Time can often feel like an obstacle to persistence, but it is important to remember that time is not the enemy. Manifestation unfolds according to divine timing, which often aligns with the perfect moment for your highest good. Trust in this process. Impatience stems from a lack of belief, while patience is a demonstration of faith. By persisting, you affirm that your desire is inevitable, no matter how long it takes to appear. Persistence is not about brute force or stubbornness, it is about gentle, unwavering faith. It is the quiet confidence that what you hold true within must eventually be reflected without. This faith is not dependent on evidence or validation, it exists because you choose to believe. Each time you persist, you are declaring to yourself and the universe that your vision is more real to you than the temporary circumstances around you. When you persist despite appearances, you step into your role as a creator of your reality. You stop being a passive observer of life and become an active participant in its design. You align with the truth that reality is malleable, shaped by your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs. In this state, nothing can stand in your way, for the power within you is greater than any obstacle outside you. Hold your vision firmly, no matter what the world shows you. See beyond appearances to the truth of what you are creating. Know that your inner reality is the blueprint for your outer world, and by persisting, you are bringing that blueprint to life. Trust the process, stay rooted in your belief, and watch as the impossible becomes inevitable. Evening is a sacred time, a gateway to the subconscious mind where the seeds of your desires can be planted most effectively. As the day comes to a close and the mind begins to unwind, the barriers of logic and resistance dissolve, leaving the subconscious open and impressionable. It is during these moments, just before sleep, that the conscious mind hands over its final impressions to the subconscious, which works tirelessly to bring those impressions into form. The subconscious mind is the engine of creation, faithfully executing the instructions it receives. Unlike the conscious mind, it does not question, analyze, or resist, it simply accepts what is impressed upon it as truth. This is why the moments before sleep are so powerful. In this twilight state, known as the hypnagogic state, your thoughts and feelings are directly transmitted to the subconscious without interference from doubt or contradiction. Whatever you dwell upon during this time becomes the blueprint for your reality. To make the most of this gateway, it is essential to approach the evening with intention. The thoughts you entertain before sleep should be aligned with your desires and aspirations. If you allow yourself to replay the worries, frustrations, or disappointments of the day, you risk embedding those negative emotions into your subconscious, perpetuating their effects in your life. Instead, consciously choose to focus on what you wish to create, and let your last waking thoughts be ones of hope, joy, and fulfillment. Visualization is a powerful tool to use during this time. As you lie in bed, close your eyes and imagine your desired reality as vividly as possible. See yourself living the life you desire, experiencing the joy, success, or love you seek. Engage all your senses, see the colors, hear the sounds, feel the textures, and immerse yourself fully in the experience. Most importantly, feel the emotions associated with your desire. The subconscious responds most strongly to emotion, so allow yourself to feel gratitude, excitement, or peace as though your desire is already fulfilled. Affirmations are another effective method for planting seeds in the subconscious during the evening. Repeat statements that reflect your desires in the present tense, such as I am abundant, I am loved, or I am healthy. Speak these affirmations softly, either aloud or in your mind, and allow their truth to sink in deeply. Combine them with visualization for an even more potent effect. For example, as you affirm, I am successful, picture yourself achieving a specific goal or celebrating a milestone. The combination of words and imagery creates a vivid impression that the subconscious cannot ignore. It is also beneficial to cultivate a sense of gratitude before sleep. Gratitude is a powerful emotion that shifts your focus from lack to abundance. Reflect on the things you are grateful for, both in your current life and in the reality you are creating. By feeling gratitude as though your desires have already manifested, you align yourself with the vibration of fulfillment and abundance. This not only impresses your desires upon the subconscious, but also sets the tone for the following day, attracting more experiences to be grateful for. The evening gateway is not just about what you think and feel, it is also about the environment you create. Your physical and mental surroundings can influence the quality of your impressions. Create a calming bedtime routine that supports relaxation and positive focus. Dim the lights, play soothing music, or meditate to quiet your mind. Avoid consuming negative or stressful content before bed, as it can disrupt your ability to focus on your desires. Instead, read or listen to uplifting material that inspires and reinforces your intentions. Consistency is key to making the most of the evening gateway. The subconscious mind learns through repetition, so make this practice a nightly ritual. Over time, the repeated impressions will take root and begin to shape your reality. Even if you do not see immediate results, trust that the process is working. The subconscious operates on its own timeline, orchestrating events and circumstances in ways that may not be immediately apparent. Patience and persistence are essential. It is important to approach this practice with a sense of ease and trust. Do not force your visualizations or affirmations, instead, allow them to flow naturally. The subconscious does not respond well to tension or strain, as these are signs of doubt. Instead, relax into the feeling of your desire, knowing that it is already on its way. Let go of the need to control the outcome or the timeline, and simply focus on the joy and fulfillment of the present moment. As you drift off to sleep, carry these thoughts and feelings with you. The subconscious will take over from there, working through the night to bring your desires closer to reality. In this way, the evening becomes a powerful ally in your journey of creation. It is a time to let go of the worries of the day and step into the reality you wish to create. Each night is an opportunity to align yourself with your highest potential. By using the evening gateway wisely, you harness the full power of your subconscious mind, turning your dreams into reality. Let your last thoughts be ones of love, gratitude, and certainty, and watch as the seeds you plant in the evening blossom into the life you desire. Faith is the cornerstone of all manifestation, the invisible force that bridges the gap between your desires and their realization. It is not a passive hope, but an active, living conviction that what you seek is already yours. Faith operates beyond logic, beyond evidence, and beyond the physical world, drawing upon the unseen yet undeniable power of belief. It is through faith that the impossible becomes possible, for faith sees reality not as it is but as it can be. To have faith means to trust implicitly in the truth of your inner vision. This trust is not contingent upon external validation or immediate results, rather. It is rooted in the certainty that the unseen is just as real as the seen. When you have faith, you no longer question whether your desires will manifest. You know they are already a reality within you. This knowing transforms the way you think, feel, and act, aligning every aspect of your being with your desired outcome. Faith is not a passive state, it is dynamic and active. It requires you to think and act as though your desires have already come to fruition. This is the essence of living in the end, a practice that shifts your focus from lack to fulfillment. When you embody the mindset and emotions of having already achieved your goals, you align yourself with the frequency of your desires. This alignment creates a powerful magnetic pull that draws your desires into your physical reality. Acting as though the impossible is already yours does not mean pretending or forcing a false sense of reality. Instead, it is about embodying the essence of your desire with genuine conviction. For example, if your goal is financial abundance, faith does not require you to spend recklessly or deny your current circumstances. Instead, it asks you to adopt the mindset of abundance, to feel gratitude for the wealth already flowing into your life, to make decisions from a place of security rather than fear, and to trust that every step you take is leading you closer to your financial goals. Faith also influences the way you handle challenges and setbacks. In the absence of faith, obstacles can feel like insurmountable barriers, feeding doubt and discouragement. But with faith, challenges become opportunities to reaffirm your belief. They are no longer threats but stepping stones, each one serving to strengthen your resolve and deepen your commitment to your vision. Faith allows you to see beyond temporary difficulties, keeping your focus on the ultimate outcome. One of the most powerful aspects of faith is its ability to transform your internal state. When you truly believe that your desires are already yours, you naturally enter a state of peace and confidence. This inner calm is a reflection of your trust in the process, your knowing that everything is unfolding perfectly. It eliminates the need for worry or desperation, replacing them with a sense of ease and certainty. This shift in your internal state not only feels good but also has a profound impact on your external reality. The energy of faith is magnetic, attracting people, opportunities, and circumstances that align with your desires. Faith is not something you summon only in moments of need, it is a way of life. It requires daily cultivation and practice. One way to strengthen your faith is through visualization. By consistently imagining your desires as already fulfilled, you reinforce your belief in their reality. Another powerful practice is gratitude. By expressing gratitude for your desires as though they are already yours, you affirm their presence in your life and deepen your faith in their manifestation. It is important to understand that faith does not rely on physical evidence. In fact, the strongest faith often exists in the absence of any proof. This is because faith operates in the realm of the unseen, where the seeds of manifestation are planted and nurtured. When you require evidence to believe, you are relying on the external world to dictate your internal state. But true faith works in the opposite direction. It starts within and shapes the external world accordingly. Doubt is the greatest adversary of faith. It is natural for doubt to arise, especially when the path ahead seems unclear or when progress appears slow. However, doubt can only take root if you allow it. The key is to recognize doubt for what it is, a temporary thought, not an ultimate truth. When doubt arises, reaffirm your faith by returning to your vision. Remind yourself that the absence of evidence is not the absence of progress. Trust in the unseen forces that are working behind the scenes to bring your desires to life. Faith also calls for patience. Manifestation is not always instantaneous. and the timing may not align with your expectations. But faith understands that everything unfolds in divine timing, often in ways that are more perfect than you could have imagined. And trust in this timing and allow the process to unfold without resistance. The waiting period is not a void, it is a time of preparation, growth, and alignment, ensuring that you are ready to receive what you have asked for. Faith is the key that unlocks all doors. It is the unwavering belief that your desires are not just possible but inevitable. This belief transforms the impossible into the inevitable, for faith knows no limitations. When you think, feel, and act from this place of certainty, you become a powerful creator of your reality. The world outside you begins to shift, reflecting the truth you hold within. Trust in your faith and watch as it bridges the gap between where you are and where you want to be. In conclusion, faith is the most powerful force in the process of manifestation. It is the bridge that connects your desires to their physical reality. Through unwavering belief, acting as if your desires are already realized, and persistently nurturing that belief, you activate the full potential of your mind and the universe. The impossible becomes possible when you align your thoughts, feelings, and actions with the certainty that what you seek is already yours. Faith is not passive, it is an active, living force that moves mountains and opens doors that once seemed closed. By using the evening to cultivate faith, visualizing your desires, and affirming them with conviction, you can plant the seeds of your future and let the power of faith transform your life. With faith, you unlock a reality filled with limitless possibilities and endless opportunities. Thank you for taking the time to listen. May you always trust in the power of your faith, knowing that every dream, no matter how big, is already on its way to becoming your reality.
Ladies and gentlemen, there's a moment in life when you realize that not everyone is rooting for you. Some smiles hide envy, and some words conceal daggers. As we step into 2025, let me tell you this: your silence can be your greatest shield, and your discernment can be your sharpest sword. Let's talk about 7 things you should never share with anyone this year. When you share your dreams too soon, you invite opinions, doubts, and distractions. Keep your plans close to your chest. Work quietly and let your results do the talking. Money has a way of making people act strangely. Whether you're climbing out of a hole or sitting on a fortune, keep your finances private. The world doesn't need to know. They say move in silence and execute loudly. Let them see the action, not the blueprint. Keep the element of surprise on your side. Every family has its battles, but not every battle needs an audience. Protect the sanctity of your home by keeping its struggles private. People are quick to exploit vulnerabilities. If you're facing fears or flaws, face them in private or share them with someone who's earned your trust. Love thrives in privacy. Don't let the outside world meddle in your union. Guard your relationship like the precious bond it is. If you're helping others, do it quietly. True giving doesn't need applause. The impact you create is your reward. 2025 is your year to rise, but you must rise wisely. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Remember, this silence is not weakness, it's strategy. Privacy is not isolation, it's empowerment. So step forward boldly, but speak cautiously. Keep these 7 things close and watch how your life transforms. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, there is an unparalleled strength in keeping certain aspects of your life private. Privacy isn't just a luxury, it's a necessity. It's a fortress that safeguards your dreams, ambitions, and vulnerabilities from the probing eyes of the world. When you hold your cards close to your chest, you maintain a level of control that others can't penetrate. The less people know about you, the less power they have to influence, manipulate, or sabotage your journey. Think about it. How many times have you shared a plan only to feel the sting of unsolicited advice, doubt, or outright negativity? Sometimes even the most well-meaning individuals can project their fears or insecurities onto your vision, diluting your confidence. It's not that people are inherently malicious. It's that they see the world through their own lens, a lens that may not align with your clarity of purpose. By keeping your intentions to yourself, you create a protective bubble where your ideas can thrive without interference. Privacy also cultivates mystery, and mystery is a powerful tool. When people don't know your next move, they can't anticipate it. They can't prepare to block it, nor can they undermine it. Instead, they are left guessing, and in that guessing, you gain the upper hand. It's not about secrecy for the sake of secrecy, it's about strategy. Every great achiever understands the importance of timing and discretion. They unveil their plans at the right moment, ensuring maximum impact while minimizing the chances of opposition. Privacy nurtures your energy. When you refrain from sharing everything, you conserve the mental and emotional resources often spent explaining, justifying, or defending your decisions. This saved energy can be redirected toward action and execution, the very elements that bring your goals to life. Sharing prematurely can dissipate your focus, leaving you drained before you've even started. Silence, on the other hand, sharpens your resolve. It allows you to stay rooted in your purpose without the noise of external opinions clouding your path. In a world where social media encourages constant exposure, the act of keeping something to yourself can feel radical. We live in an age where validation is sought through likes, comments, and shares, but true validation comes from within. The satisfaction of working quietly toward a goal and achieving it without fanfare is unmatched. It's a reminder that your worth isn't tied to public acknowledgement, but to the substance of your efforts and results. Privacy also safeguards your relationships. Not every detail of your personal life needs to be a public spectacle. When you share too much about your struggles, triumphs, or even your partnerships, you open the door for opinions, judgments, and interference. People may start to feel entitled to comment on your life even when they have no real stake in it. By keeping certain aspects of your relationships private, you protect their sanctity. You allow them to grow organically, free from the weight of external scrutiny. Beyond relationships, privacy shields your vulnerabilities. Every person has fears, doubts, and insecurities. When you broadcast these to the world, you expose yourself to exploitation. Not everyone will use that information kindly, some may weaponize it against you. But when you keep those parts of yourself private, you maintain a sense of security. You can work through your challenges on your own terms, seeking support only from those who have earned your trust. There's also an element of dignity in privacy. It speaks to your self-respect and your understanding of boundaries. When you choose not to share every detail of your life, you're signaling that your life is valuable, that it's not up for public consumption. This self-contained approach earns respect, as it demonstrates maturity and self-assurance. People are naturally drawn to those who exude confidence and restraint, qualities that are amplified by the art of keeping certain things private. Privacy is a form of freedom. It frees you from the expectations and judgments of others. It allows you to live authentically, guided by your own intuition and values rather than the shifting opinions of the crowd. In that freedom lies true power, the power to shape your life as you see fit, unencumbered by the noise of external influences. So as you navigate the complexities of life, remember the strength in silence. Cherish the mysteries you keep, for they are your treasures. The less people know, the less they can control. And in that space of privacy, you find clarity, focus, and the unyielding power to be the master of your own destiny. Dreams are fragile creations, delicate like a newly budding flower. They emerge from within, often in moments of quiet reflection, sparked by a yearning for something greater. When a dream is born, it's not yet strong enough to endure the storms of doubt, criticism, or skepticism. It needs nurturing, care, and time to grow into something resilient. The reality, however, is that not everyone will see your vision as you do. Not everyone will understand it, respect it, or support it, and that's why you must protect your dreams fiercely. Your vision is deeply personal. It's a reflection of your aspirations, values, and purpose. It's something only you can fully comprehend because it's been shaped by your unique experiences and inner desires. Yet, when shared too openly or too soon, it becomes vulnerable. People, even those with good intentions, may not grasp its significance. They might unintentionally diminish it with careless words, questioning its practicality or viability. They might overlay their own fears onto your dreams, asking, "Are you sure this is realistic, or what if it doesn't work out?" These seeds of doubt, once planted, can grow into obstacles that hinder your progress. It's important to remember that others are not obligated to see your vision clearly. They are not walking your path or carrying the same passion in their hearts. What feels like a life-changing mission to you might seem trivial or unattainable to them. That's not a reflection of your dream's value, but of their limited perspective. People often project their insecurities onto others, not out of malice, but because they lack the courage to chase their own dreams. If they can't envision greatness for themselves, how can they recognize it in your aspirations? Protecting your vision requires discernment. Not everyone deserves a front row seat to your journey. Share your dreams selectively with people who have proven themselves trustworthy and supportive. Look for those who uplift and encourage rather than criticize and tear down. Even then, keep in mind that your dream's most important guardian is you. It's your responsibility to shelter it from negativity and distractions until it's strong enough to stand on its own. Keeping your vision private also allows it to develop without interference. When you share too soon, you open the door to external influences that can alter the original purity of your idea. Everyone has an opinion, and those opinions can cloud your judgment. You might find yourself second-guessing your instincts or trying to please others by adjusting your plans. This can dilute the essence of your vision, making it less authentic and aligned with your true purpose. Time is a crucial factor in nurturing your dreams. They need patience and quiet effort to grow. Just as a seed planted in the soil needs time to sprout and bloom, your vision needs time to evolve. During this phase, it's vulnerable to external conditions, much like a seedling exposed to harsh weather. The more you protect it, the more it can flourish without unnecessary setbacks. Work quietly, diligently, and with unwavering focus. Let your actions, not your words, pave the way toward success. Another reason to safeguard your dreams is the competitive nature of the world. There are those who, upon hearing your ideas, might seek to replicate or undermine them. Not everyone will respect your originality. Some may try to discredit your efforts or take shortcuts to achieve what you're working hard to build. By keeping your vision under wraps, you eliminate the risk of it being prematurely revealed, misunderstood, or stolen. Protecting your dreams also fosters a deeper connection to them. When you keep them close to your heart, they become a source of personal motivation and inspiration. You're not seeking external validation or approval, you're driven by an inner fire that's uniquely yours. This self-reliance strengthens your resolve and keeps you aligned with your purpose even when challenges arise. The beauty of this approach is that when the time is right, your dream will speak for itself. It will no longer be a delicate idea needing protection, but a tangible reality that stands as a testament to your dedication. By then, it won't matter who doubted you or failed to understand your vision. What will matter is that you believed in yourself enough to see it through. Protecting your vision isn't about secrecy, it's about strategy. It's about recognizing the value of your dreams and treating them with the care they deserve. It's about staying true to yourself and refusing to let the noise of the world drown out the voice of your intuition. Big dreams are delicate, but with the right balance of courage, patience, and discretion, they can grow into something extraordinary. Energy is one of the most valuable currencies you possess. It fuels your actions, shapes your mindset, and determines the quality of your life. Unlike money, energy cannot simply be earned back once spent. Every ounce of emotional, mental, and physical energy you expend leaves a mark on your overall well-being. This is why guarding your energy, your time, focus, and emotions is essential. It's not just about protecting yourself, it's about directing your energy toward the things that truly matter. Time and energy are intertwined. Every moment you spend is a transaction, an exchange of your finite time for something, an experience, a task, or an interaction. The question is, are these transactions worthy of the energy you're investing? Too often, people pour their energy into things that drain them, be it toxic relationships, meaningless arguments, or pursuits that offer little return. Recognizing the value of your energy means being intentional about how and where you spend it. Think of your energy as a treasure chest. You wouldn't leave your treasures unguarded, accessible to anyone who walks by, would you? The same principle applies to your time and emotions. Every time you allow negativity, distractions, or unworthy causes to consume your energy, you're giving away pieces of yourself that could be better spent on building your dreams, nurturing meaningful connections, or simply enjoying life. Guarding your energy begins with understanding its limits. You are not an endless reservoir. Your energy requires renewal and care. When you overextend yourself, giving too much of your time to others or spreading yourself thin across too many commitments, you run the risk of burnout. This depletion affects your ability to think clearly, make decisions, and maintain emotional stability. Protecting your energy means saying no when necessary, setting boundaries, and prioritizing your well-being. Emotions, in particular, are a critical part of your energy. They shape how you perceive the world and how you interact with others. But emotions can also be hijacked. When you let anger, frustration, or resentment consume you, you're spending valuable emotional energy on situations that often don't deserve it. For instance, holding grudges or engaging in arguments might feel justified in the moment, but they rarely lead to meaningful outcomes. Instead, they drain you and leave you with less energy for things that bring you joy or progress. Protecting your energy also means being mindful of the people you allow into your life. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. Some individuals lift you up, energize you, and inspire you to be your best self. Others drain your energy with negativity, criticism, or selfishness. It's important to recognize these dynamics and adjust accordingly. This might mean limiting your time with certain people, or in some cases, cutting ties altogether. Your energy is too precious to waste on relationships that don't serve you. Distractions are another significant drain on your energy. In today's world, it's easy to lose hours scrolling through social media, consuming news that provokes anxiety, or engaging in trivial activities that offer no real value. These distractions may seem harmless, but they chip away at your focus and leave you feeling scattered. Being intentional about your time means eliminating distractions and directing your energy toward activities that align with your goals and values. Whether it's pursuing a passion, building a career, or spending quality time with loved ones, these are the things that truly enrich your life. One of the most profound ways to protect your energy is by practicing self-care. This isn't just about physical health. Though that's important, it's about creating space for rest, reflection, and renewal. Whether it's through meditation, exercise, or simply taking time to be alone, these moments of self-care replenish your energy and prepare you to face life's challenges. They allow you to show up fully for the things that matter, rather than dragging yourself through the motions. Treating your energy as currency means valuing yourself enough to invest wisely. It's about understanding that every decision, every action, and every interaction has a cost. When you spend your energy on things that align with your purpose, you create a life that is fulfilling and meaningful. When you waste it on negativity, distractions, or unworthy causes, you deplete yourself and limit your potential. So guard your time and emotions like treasures, because that's exactly what they are. Be discerning about where you invest your energy, and don't be afraid to pull back when something doesn't feel right. The more intentional you are about preserving your energy, the more you'll have to spend on the people, passions, and pursuits that truly matter. And in that, you'll find not just success, but a sense of peace and fulfillment that is priceless. Silence is one of the most underrated and underused tools of power. In a world filled with noise, constant chatter, and relentless distractions, silence can be transformative. It's in the quiet moments, the pauses between actions, that clarity emerges. When you learn to embrace silence, you unlock the ability to focus, reflect, and channel your energy toward meaningful achievements. Speaking less and listening more creates space for deeper understanding. In conversation, silence allows you to truly hear what others are saying, not just their words, but the underlying emotions and intentions. Many people feel the need to fill silences with words, fearing that quiet moments might signal discomfort or weakness. However, silence can be a position of strength. When you resist the urge to speak unnecessarily, you cultivate an air of mystery and confidence. Others may lean in closer, valuing your words more when you do choose to speak. Silence is also a tool for self-preservation. Words once spoken cannot be taken back. They can be misinterpreted, twisted, or used against you. By speaking less, you reduce the risk of giving away too much, whether it's your thoughts, plans, or vulnerabilities. People who overshare often find themselves entangled in unnecessary conflicts or drained by trying to justify or explain themselves. On the other hand, those who practice discretion and let their actions speak louder than words maintain their energy and focus. In moments of silence, you find clarity. The noise of the external world can easily cloud your judgment, making it difficult to distinguish between what truly matters and what's merely a distraction. When you step back and embrace stillness, your mind has the opportunity to process thoughts, organize priorities, and make sense of complex situations. Silence acts as a filter, allowing you to separate the essential from the trivial. This clarity extends to your goals and aspirations. When you quiet the noise around you, it becomes easier to connect with your inner self and understand what you truly want. Too often, people are influenced by external opinions, following paths that don't align with their authentic desires. In silence, you can reconnect with your core values and recalibrate your direction. You can hear the whispers of your intuition, guiding you toward decisions that resonate with your purpose. Silence isn't just about the absence of noise, it's also about the presence of intentionality. When you choose to be silent, you're not just refraining from speaking, you're making a deliberate choice to conserve your energy and focus it where it matters most. This intentionality fosters discipline, which is essential for achieving success. It's easy to get caught up in the habit of reacting to everything, but silence teaches you to respond thoughtfully instead of impulsively. In professional settings, silence can be a game changer. Leaders who master the power of silence often command respect and authority. They don't rush to fill the room with their opinions, but instead listen carefully, assess the situation, and speak with precision. Their words carry weight because they are deliberate and thoughtful. By contrast, those who talk excessively can come across as unprepared or insecure. Silence, when used strategically, can amplify your influence. Silence cultivates resilience. Life is filled with challenges, and not every battle needs to be fought with words. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. Silence in the face of negativity, criticism, or provocation demonstrates strength and composure. It sends a message that you're in control, unshaken by external forces. This restraint can diffuse conflict and protect your peace. Silence also creates room for growth. In the quiet moments, you have the opportunity to learn and absorb new knowledge. By listening more and talking less, you open yourself up to insights and perspectives you might have missed otherwise. This continuous learning fuels your personal and professional development, allowing you to achieve more over time. Silence fosters deeper connections. When you truly listen to others without interrupting or rushing to respond, you show respect and empathy. This builds trust and strengthens bonds. Conversely, speaking too much or dominating conversations can push people away, creating barriers instead of bridges. Silence invites intimacy, allowing space for meaningful exchanges and mutual understanding. Silence is a form of power that doesn't rely on external validation. It's a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you don't need to prove yourself with words. Your actions, focus, and results become your voice. This kind of power is unshakable because it's rooted in self-assurance and clarity. In a noisy world, silence stands out. It's a rare and valuable skill that allows you to navigate life with intention and purpose. By speaking less and embracing quiet moments, you gain clarity, build resilience, and amplify your ability to achieve. Silence is not weakness, it's strength in its purest form. Trust is one of the most precious commodities in human relationships, yet it's also one of the easiest to misplace. It's the foundation upon which strong connections are built, but it's not something that should be handed out freely. Trust, like respect, must be earned. Being discerning about who you allow into your inner circle isn't just a matter of caution, it's an act of self-preservation and wisdom. At the heart of trust lies vulnerability. When you trust someone, you expose parts of yourself, your fears, dreams, weaknesses, and strengths. This openness makes trust a double-edged sword in the right hands. It can nurture growth and connection, but in the wrong hands, it can lead to hurt and betrayal. This is why it's crucial to be intentional about who you place your trust in. Not everyone deserves access to your inner world. There are people who will take your trust and cherish it, using it to support and uplift you. But there are also those who may exploit it for their own gain, whether intentionally or out of carelessness. Learning to differentiate between the two types requires observation, patience, and a willingness to set boundaries. Trust isn't built overnight. It develops gradually through consistent actions and behaviors that align with words. Someone who genuinely values your trust will demonstrate integrity and reliability over time. They'll show up when they say they will, keep their promises, and respect your boundaries. These seemingly small actions are the building blocks of trust, and they reveal a person's character far more than grand gestures or empty words ever could. Being discerning about trust doesn't mean closing yourself off from the world. It means recognizing that your energy and emotional resources are limited and precious. Allowing just anyone into your inner circle dilutes the quality of those connections and opens you up to unnecessary risks. By being selective, you create space for relationships that are meaningful and reciprocal, where trust is both given and earned. One of the most important aspects of discerning trust is listening to your intuition. Often your instincts can pick up on subtle cues that your conscious mind might overlook. If something feels off about a person or situation, it's worth paying attention to those feelings. Intuition isn't about being paranoid, it's about being attuned to the signals that help protect you from harm. At the same time, it's important to understand that trust is not static, it can be lost or broken. Even someone you've trusted for years can make mistakes or betray your confidence. While forgiveness can be a part of healing, rebuilding trust takes time and effort from both parties. It's a process that requires accountability, transparency, and a willingness to address the root causes of the breach. Being discerning also means recognizing that trust is not a one-size-fits-all concept. You may trust different people with different aspects of your life. For instance, you might trust a friend with your emotional struggles, but not with sensitive financial matters. Understanding these distinctions helps you manage expectations and avoid unnecessary disappointments. It's equally vital to be aware of how you extend trust in professional settings. In work environments, misplaced trust can have significant consequences, from damaged reputations to missed opportunities. Trusting someone in this context requires not only assessing their skills and reliability, but also their intentions and alignment with shared goals. When you're careful about who you collaborate with, you create a foundation for success rather than vulnerability. Another critical aspect of discerning trust is understanding your own boundaries. Trusting someone doesn't mean giving them unlimited access to every part of your life. It means allowing them into certain spaces where they've proven themselves worthy. Clear boundaries protect both you and the relationship, ensuring that trust is nurtured rather than strained. Discernment shouldn't turn into cynicism. It's easy to become jaded after experiencing betrayal or disappointment, but it's important to remember that not everyone will hurt or deceive you. Being cautious doesn't mean expecting the worst from everyone. It means allowing people to show you who they are before you invest deeply in them. Trust is a gift, not an obligation. It's something you offer to those who've demonstrated they can handle it with care. By being selective about who you let into your inner circle, you're not only protecting yourself, but also elevating the quality of your relationships. Trusting wisely ensures that your emotional energy is spent on connections that enrich your life rather than deplete it. In a world where trust is often taken for granted, Choosing to be discerning is an act of strength and self-respect. It's about valuing yourself enough to only surround yourself with people who value you in return. Trust isn't about being perfect or expecting perfection from others. It's about finding those who are willing to grow with you, honor your vulnerabilities, and stand by you in both good times and bad. When you choose to trust wisely, you build a life filled with authentic, meaningful connections that stand the test of time. Your personal growth is a deeply individual journey, one that unfolds uniquely for you in its own time and space. It's a sacred process of transformation, marked by challenges, breakthroughs, and quiet victories. While it can be tempting to share your progress with others, especially when you're proud of your accomplishments or excited about what's to come, keeping your growth private is often the wisest choice. Prematurely unveiling your journey can create unnecessary distractions, invite judgment, and even derail the momentum you've worked so hard to build. When you embark on a path of personal or professional growth, it's not just about setting goals, it's about developing the mindset, discipline, and resilience required to achieve them. This process demands focus and dedication, both of which can be easily disrupted when you allow too many external voices into your journey. Sharing your plans or progress too soon opens the door to opinions, critiques, and unsolicited advice that may not align with your vision. Even well-meaning input can plant seeds of doubt, shifting your focus away from the work itself and toward justifying or explaining your decisions to others. Momentum in growth is a fragile thing. It's the cumulative effect of consistent effort, driven by intrinsic motivation and a clear sense of purpose. When you expose your journey to others before it's fully developed, you risk diluting that momentum. External validation, or the lack thereof, can create an artificial sense of accomplishment or, conversely, discourage you from continuing. Growth thrives in the quiet spaces where you can experiment, learn, and evolve without fear of judgment or comparison. Comparison is another pitfall of sharing your journey prematurely. When you put your progress out into the world, it inevitably invites comparison to others. Someone might question your methods, highlight their own achievements, or offer unsolicited feedback that makes you second-guess yourself. This can lead to feelings of inadequacy or the temptation to alter your path to match someone else's. True growth is deeply personal and should be guided by your own values and aspirations, not by the expectations or experiences of others. Keeping your growth private also allows you to preserve the authenticity of your journey. When you're not performing for an audience, you're free to focus solely on the process itself. You can make mistakes, pivot, and refine your approach without the added pressure of external scrutiny. This freedom fosters creativity and innovation, enabling you to discover solutions and insights that might have been stifled in a more public setting. There's also a psychological benefit to maintaining privacy during your growth process. By keeping your plans and progress to yourself, you reinforce your own accountability. You're not relying on external praise or recognition to keep you motivated. Instead, you're driven by a deeper, more sustainable source of inspiration. This self-reliance builds confidence and resilience, qualities that will serve you long after you've achieved your current goals. Not everyone in your life will understand or support your journey. People bring their own biases, insecurities, and limitations into their perceptions of your growth. Some may feel threatened by your progress, while others may unintentionally project their fears onto you. Sharing your journey with such individuals can lead to unnecessary conflict or self-doubt. By keeping your growth private, you protect yourself from these potential negative influences and ensure that your energy remains focused on what truly matters. Privacy doesn't mean isolation, though. It's important to have a trusted circle of mentors, friends, or confidants who can provide guidance and encouragement. The key is to be selective about who you share your journey with. Choose individuals who genuinely support your growth, respect your boundaries, and offer constructive feedback when needed. These relationships can be a source of strength and inspiration without compromising your momentum. As your growth becomes more tangible, there will be a time and place to share your accomplishments. By then, you'll be standing on a solid foundation, confident in the work you've done and the person you become. Sharing from this place of strength not only inspires others but also ensures that you're presenting a fully realized vision of your journey, one that can withstand the scrutiny and opinions of the outside world. Keeping your growth private is an act of self-respect. It's about honoring the delicate process of transformation and giving yourself the space to evolve without interference. Your journey is yours, and it deserves the protection and care required to reach its fullest potential. In the quiet of your efforts, you'll find the strength to grow, the clarity to stay true to your path, and the momentum to achieve what you once only dreamed possible. Let your results speak for themselves when the time is right, and until then, guard your growth with the same dedication you bring to nurturing it. The message is simple yet profound: protect what's sacred to you. Whether it's your dreams, your energy, your trust, or your personal growth, these aspects of your life are treasures that deserve respect and care. By choosing discretion, you shield yourself from unnecessary distractions, negativity, and judgment, allowing your efforts to flourish in their own time. Privacy isn't about isolation, it's about preservation. It's about knowing what to share, when to share, and with whom, so you stay true to your vision and purpose. The power of silence, the strength of boundaries, and the wisdom of discernment are your allies on the path to success. Guard your energy, protect your journey, and let your results speak louder than words ever could. The life you're building deserves nothing less than your full attention and unwavering dedication. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on these truths. May they empower you to move forward with clarity, strength, and purpose.
Ladies and gentlemen, not with your ears, but with the depths of your being. The truth is this: everyone who enters your life will one day leave. The hands you hold today may not always be there to hold yours tomorrow. But do not despair, for this is the way of life. It is not a curse, but a sacred design to awaken you to the infinite power within. The world teaches you to fear being alone. But I tell you, this solitude is not loneliness, it is the gateway to discovering who you truly are. When others walk away, they do not take your strength with them. They leave behind an empty space, a space you must fill with your own light. Stop chasing those who no longer wish to stay. Understand that their departure is not your loss, but your liberation. It is life whispering to you, turn inward, for there is a treasure here that you have overlooked. The most powerful relationship you will ever have is the one you cultivate with yourself. When you rely on the external world to validate your worth, you are like a tree without roots, swayed by every wind. But when you root yourself in the infinite power of your mind, you become immovable. Begin now to see yourself as whole, even when others leave. Speak to yourself as though you are your greatest love, your most trusted ally. I am enough, you declare. And in that declaration, you will find all that you have ever sought in others. Solitude is not the absence of others, it is the presence of self. When you learn to survive alone, you awaken to a deeper truth: you were never truly alone. The infinite spirit within you is your constant companion, your unfailing guide. So do not fear when people leave. Release them with gratitude, for they have fulfilled their role in your story. And as they go, turn your gaze inward. There, in the quiet depths of your being, you will find the strength to not just survive, but to flourish. Life is a river, ever flowing and ever changing. The people, places, and moments that come into our lives are like ripples on the surface of that river, beautiful, fleeting, and impossible to hold. Yet we often find ourselves clinging to these ripples, desperate to freeze them in time, longing for them to remain exactly as they are. This attachment to permanence, to the illusion that things will stay the same, is the root of much of our suffering. Consider the relationships we cherish. When we love someone, we often wish for that connection to remain untouched by the tides of change. We imagine that love will always feel as it does in its most tender moments, that the bond will never fray, and that the person we care for will never leave. But people are not static beings. They grow, evolve, and sometimes drift away. To resist this truth is to resist the very nature of life. The same applies to our circumstances. When we achieve success, we want to hold on to it forever. When we experience joy, we want it to linger. But success can fade, and joy is as impermanent as the clouds in the sky. Seasons change, opportunities come and go, and even the brightest days eventually give way to night. This is not a flaw in the design of life, it is its essence. By clinging to what is transient, we set ourselves up for heartache. We grasp at relationships, possessions, and experiences, trying to keep them from slipping through our fingers. Yet the tighter we hold on, the more we feel the sting of loss when they inevitably change or fade away. Life does not offer guarantees, and nothing in this world is meant to remain exactly as it is. But herein lies an extraordinary truth. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we free ourselves from the chains of suffering. To see life as it truly is, a series of moments, each unique and irreplaceable, is to understand its profound beauty. Instead of clinging to what was or worrying about what might be, we can learn to live fully in the present, appreciating each moment for the gift that it is. Growth often comes from the very impermanence we resist. When a relationship ends, it may hurt deeply, but it also creates space for new connections, new lessons, and a deeper understanding of ourselves. When we lose something we value, it forces us to reassess what truly matters and to find strength we didn't know we had. Loss is not the end, it is a doorway to transformation. The world around us mirrors this truth. The seasons shift, flowers bloom and wither, the sun rises and sets. Nature does not mourn these changes, it embraces them as part of a greater cycle. In the same way, we are meant to flow with life, not against it. To cling to permanence is to deny ourselves the richness of life's ebb and flow. This does not mean we should become indifferent or detached. Loving deeply and cherishing what we have are integral parts of the human experience. But true love, whether for a person, a moment, or a dream, does not demand permanence. It understands that the beauty of something lies in its impermanence. A sunset is breathtaking precisely because it does not last forever. A flower's fragility is what makes it precious. Learning to let go is not about giving up, it is about trusting the process of life. It is about understanding that when one door closes, another opens. It is about realizing that we are never truly losing, we are simply transitioning from one chapter to the next. When we embrace the impermanence of life, we become more resilient. We stop fearing change and start welcoming it as an opportunity for growth. We no longer see endings as failures, but as natural progressions. We begin to find joy not in holding on, but in experiencing life fully, moment by moment. Letting go of the illusion of permanence is not easy. It requires courage to face uncertainty and faith to believe that what lies ahead will serve our highest good. But as we release our grip on what was and surrender to what is, we discover a profound sense of peace. We learn to trust that life, in all its impermanence, is guiding us exactly where we need to be. So let the river of life flow freely. Cherish the ripples as they come, but do not mourn their passing. Each moment, fleeting as it may be, holds its own unique beauty. By embracing the impermanence of life, we unlock the door to true freedom, growth, and a deeper appreciation for the ever-changing dance of existence. Within each of us lies a realm untouched by the chaos of the outside world, a sanctuary that holds the essence of who we truly are. This inner reality is the seat of our strength, the wellspring from which all that we desire and all that we are flows. Yet so often we seek validation, fulfillment, and peace from external sources, believing that our happiness depends on circumstances, people, or possessions. In doing so, we overlook the boundless power within us, the power to shape our lives, transform our experiences, and anchor ourselves in unwavering peace. Your imagination is not just a tool for idle daydreaming, it is the architect of your reality. Every thought, every vision you hold within your mind carries the potential to manifest in the world around you. When you learn to dwell in the sanctuary of your imagination, crafting thoughts and images that align with your deepest desires, You awaken a creative force that can move mountains. What you consistently imagine with conviction becomes the blueprint for your life. The outer world is but a reflection of the inner, therefore, by mastering your inner reality, you gain mastery over your external circumstances. Yet this power is often underestimated or misunderstood. Many believe that change must come from exerting control over the physical world, from pushing, striving, and battling against perceived obstacles. But the truth is far simpler and infinitely more profound. The world you experience is a mirror of your inner state. If you carry turmoil within, it will manifest as chaos around you. If you nurture peace and abundance within, your external reality will echo that harmony. Building a life rooted in inner peace begins with recognizing that you are not a victim of circumstance, but the creator of your experience. This realization is liberating. No longer do you need to wait for the world to grant you permission to be happy, successful, or fulfilled. You hold that power within you at every moment. The key is to turn inward, to cultivate a relationship with your inner self, and to consciously choose thoughts and feelings that uplift and empower you. Inner peace is not the absence of challenges, but the ability to remain centered and unshaken amidst them. It is the calm in the storm, the unwavering light that guides you through the darkest times. To access this peace, you must learn to quiet the noise of the external world and listen to the still, small voice within. Meditation, reflection, and deliberate imagination are powerful practices that help you connect with this inner sanctuary. As you spend more time in this sacred space, you will find that the opinions of others, the fluctuations of fortune, and the uncertainties of life lose their grip on you. Your inner reality is also a place of limitless potential. In this realm, there are no boundaries, no restrictions, and no limitations. You can envision yourself as the person you wish to become, living the life you dream of. And as you hold that vision with faith and persistence, it begins to take form in the physical world. This is not wishful thinking, it is the natural law of creation. Just as a seed, when nurtured, grows into a tree, so too does a thought, when sustained, grow into reality. But to harness the power of your inner reality, you must be vigilant about the thoughts you entertain. Doubt, fear, and negativity can creep in, distorting the visions you hold and undermining your creative power. To guard against this, make a habit of focusing on what you desire rather than what you fear. Replace limiting beliefs with empowering ones, and trust in your ability to create the life you envision. It is also vital to approach this process with patience and trust. Just as a farmer does not dig up the seeds to check their growth, you must not doubt the seeds of thought you plant in your imagination. Trust that the unseen forces of life are working on your behalf, aligning circumstances, opportunities, and people to bring your vision to fruition. The more you dwell in the sanctuary of your inner reality, the less you will depend on the world around you to dictate your sense of self-worth and happiness. You will become unshakable, rooted in the knowledge that everything you need is already within you. This is true freedom, the ability to navigate life with confidence, knowing that you are the master of your destiny, the creator of your experience. As you cultivate this inner strength, you will find that your outer world begins to shift in ways that seem almost magical. Opportunities will arise, challenges will dissolve, and relationships will flourish. This is the power of inner reality. It transforms not only your perception but also your experience of life. And in this transformation, you will discover a profound truth: the peace, joy, and fulfillment you have sought were never outside of you, they were within you all along. True freedom begins when you realize that everything you need to feel whole, content, and fulfilled already resides within you. Yet so much of life is spent seeking validation, security, and happiness from external sources, whether through relationships, possessions, or social approval. This dependence, while often comforting in the moment, slowly erodes your spirit. It creates a cycle of reliance where your sense of well-being hinges on factors beyond your control. But when you cultivate self-sufficiency, you reclaim your power. You discover that liberation is not found in others, but in your ability to stand firm within yourself. Dependence on others, while natural to a degree, becomes detrimental when it dictates your happiness or self-worth. When you rely on external forces to provide fulfillment, you surrender your autonomy and tether yourself to the ever-changing tides of life. People may leave, circumstances may shift, and possessions may fade, leaving you vulnerable and unanchored. To build a life rooted in self-sufficiency is to anchor yourself in something unshakable, your own inner strength and resilience. Self-sufficiency does not mean isolation or rejecting help from others. It is not about closing yourself off from meaningful connections or refusing the beauty of shared experiences. Rather, it is about ensuring that your foundation is strong enough to withstand any storm. It is the ability to find joy in solitude, to pursue your goals without waiting for approval, and to trust in your capacity to navigate life's challenges on your own terms. The journey towards self-sufficiency begins with self-awareness. You must first recognize the areas where you have outsourced your power. Perhaps you seek constant reassurance from others, feeling uneasy when left alone. Maybe you derive your self-worth from external achievements, needing accolades or recognition to feel valuable. Or you might rely on material possessions to create a sense of security. Identifying these dependencies is the first step to breaking free from them. Once you've recognized your patterns, the next step is to shift your focus inward. Instead of looking to others to fill emotional voids, turn to yourself. Ask yourself what truly makes you happy, not what you've been told should make you happy. Spend time exploring your passions, cultivating your skills, and nurturing your inner world. As you invest in yourself, you'll find that the need for external validation diminishes. You become your own source of fulfillment. Building self-sufficiency also requires embracing solitude. Many people fear being alone, associating it with loneliness or a lack of connection. But solitude is not something to fear, it is a sacred space where you can reconnect with yourself. In solitude, you gain clarity about who you are and what you want. You learn to enjoy your own company and to draw strength from within. When you are comfortable being alone, you become less dependent on the presence of others to feel complete. Another key aspect of self-sufficiency is cultivating emotional resilience. Life is unpredictable and challenges are inevitable. But when you depend solely on others to help you navigate difficulties, you weaken your ability to cope on your own. Emotional resilience is the ability to face adversity with grace, to adapt to change, and to find strength in the midst of uncertainty. It comes from trusting your capacity to overcome obstacles, no matter how daunting they may seem. Financial independence is another important component of self-sufficiency. When you rely on others for financial support, you limit your freedom to make choices and live on your own terms. By taking control of your financial well-being, you create opportunities for yourself and gain the confidence that comes with knowing you can stand on your own 2 feet. This doesn't mean you have to achieve wealth overnight. It means taking intentional steps toward managing your resources wisely and building a life that aligns with your values. At its core, self-sufficiency is about empowerment. It is about recognizing that you are enough, that you have within you everything you need to create a life of meaning and purpose. It is about freeing yourself from the chains of dependency and reclaiming your autonomy. This liberation is not only a gift to yourself but also to others. When you are self-sufficient, you can engage in relationships from a place of wholeness rather than neediness. You can give without expecting in return and love without fear of loss because you are not dependent on others to complete you. The path to self-sufficiency is not always easy, but it is deeply rewarding. It requires courage to face your fears, determination to build your strengths, and faith in your ability to create a fulfilling life. But as you take each step, you will feel a profound sense of freedom. You will no longer be bound by the actions or opinions of others. You will no longer fear being alone, because you will know that you are never truly alone. You have yourself. And that is enough. In this state of liberation, you will discover a truth that transforms your life. Fulfillment is not something you find outside of yourself. It is something you create within. By cultivating self-sufficiency, you unlock the power to live with purpose, peace, and unshakable confidence. And that, above all else, is true freedom. Rejection often feels like a sharp and painful blow to the heart. It stirs feelings of inadequacy, loneliness, and sometimes even despair. But what if rejection is not an end but a profound redirection? What if it is life's way of guiding you toward a higher purpose, one that you could not have reached if the door you were clinging to had not closed? To see rejection as redirection is to shift your perspective, recognizing that what feels like loss is often the seed of transformation. When people leave your life, it can feel like a betrayal or a failure. We naturally form attachments, seeking comfort and stability in relationships. However, not all connections are meant to last forever. Some people enter your life for a season, playing a role in your growth before their part in your story concludes. Their departure, while painful, creates space for new opportunities, lessons, and relationships that align more closely with your journey. Life operates in ways that often defy immediate understanding. In the moment, it is hard to see the larger picture or the reasons behind certain events. But with time and reflection, patterns emerge, revealing how rejection or loss was a necessary part of your evolution. Perhaps a breakup led you to discover your own strength and independence. Maybe being passed over for a job opened the door to an opportunity that was far more fulfilling. What appears as rejection is often a nudge, or sometimes a shove in a direction that better serves your growth and potential. Rejection also teaches resilience. Each time you face the pain of being turned away or let go, you have the choice to rise stronger. It is an opportunity to reaffirm your self-worth independent of others' opinions or decisions. Instead of seeing rejection as a reflection of your inadequacy, view it as a sign that something better awaits you. The process of overcoming rejection builds character, teaching you patience, perseverance, and trust in the unfolding of life. The transformation often begins in the shadow of loss. When familiar structures or relationships crumble, you are forced to confront yourself in a way that comfort and stability never demanded. You are invited to explore who you are without the roles, titles, or connections that once defined you. This exploration can be uncomfortable, even frightening, but it is also liberating. It is in these moments of uncertainty that you discover new facets of yourself, strengths, passions, and dreams that were hidden beneath the surface. The pain of rejection also encourages introspection. It prompts you to ask meaningful questions. Was this person, job, or situation truly aligned with who I am and what I want? What can I learn from this experience? How can I grow and move forward? These questions lead to deeper self-awareness, helping you make choices that are more authentic and intentional. In this way, rejection becomes a teacher, guiding you to greater clarity about your values and goals. Rejection often protects you from paths that are not meant for you. It may close doors to relationships or opportunities that, had they continued, might have caused more harm than good. While it's difficult to accept this truth in the moment, hindsight often reveals how rejection saved you from settling for less than you deserve. Trusting this process requires faith in life's wisdom and a willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. When you embrace rejection as redirection, you also learn to let go of resistance. Clinging to people or situations that are trying to leave your life only prolongs your pain. Instead, release them with gratitude for the role they played in your journey. This act of letting go is not a sign of weakness but of courage and wisdom. It shows that you trust life to guide you towards something greater. The transformation that follows rejection is not immediate. It requires patience and an open heart. There will be moments of doubt, sadness, and longing, but these emotions are part of the healing process. As you move through them, you begin to notice the gifts hidden within the experience. You may find new opportunities, meet people who inspire and uplift you, or uncover a deeper sense of purpose. Each step forward reinforces the truth that rejection is not the end, it is a beginning. Rejection, then, is a catalyst for growth and self-discovery. It forces you to step out of your comfort zone, confront your fears, and embrace change. It challenges you to redefine what success, love, and fulfillment mean to you. And most importantly, it redirects you toward paths that are in alignment with your highest potential. When you look back on moments of rejection, you may realize that they were some of the most pivotal points in your life. They pushed you to grow, to evolve, and to become more fully yourself. What initially felt like loss transformed into gain, and what seemed like an ending became a new beginning. In embracing rejection as redirection, you cultivate a profound trust in life's process. You learn to see challenges as opportunities, losses as lessons, and endings as doorways to new beginnings. This perspective empowers you to move forward with courage and hope, knowing that even in the face of rejection, life is always working for your highest good. In a world that is constantly moving, filled with noise, distractions, and the demands of daily life, solitude can often be misunderstood. Many view solitude as a form of punishment, a state to be avoided at all costs. The idea of being alone can bring discomfort, fear, or even anxiety. We've been conditioned to believe that being surrounded by people, engaging in constant activity, or staying busy is a measure of success or happiness. Yet the truth is, solitude is not a punishment, it is a sacred gift, a space where you can reconnect with your true essence, find clarity, and rediscover the peace and strength that lies within. When you embrace solitude, you step away from the external chaos that often clouds your mind and your emotions. In silence, you can hear your own thoughts, your own heart. Without the interference of others' opinions or the noise of the world, you can tune in to what is truly important to you. Solitude provides a rare opportunity for introspection. It allows you to sift through your emotions, your desires, and your dreams. Without the pressure to conform to societal expectations or please others, you are free to be yourself, to truly understand who you are, what you want, and where you're going. You can shed the roles you play for others, the friend, the colleague, the partner, the parent, and return to your most authentic self. It's in these quiet moments that you can strip away the layers of external influence that often mask your true nature. You begin to rediscover the dreams, passions, and values that may have been overshadowed by the demands of everyday life. Solitude allows you to connect with your inner wisdom, the part of you that knows what is best for your journey, your growth, and your happiness. Solitude is also a powerful tool for healing. In a world that encourages constant activity and distraction, it can be easy to ignore emotional wounds or unresolved issues. But in the stillness of solitude, you can face these challenges without the pressure of external distractions. It's a space where you can reflect, process, and release the emotional baggage that you may have been carrying. Solitude gives you the space to let go of the past, to forgive yourself and others, and to make peace with your experiences. It provides the necessary time to heal, rebuild, and restore your energy and emotional well-being. The fear of being alone often stems from a deep-rooted belief that solitude equals loneliness. However, loneliness is not the same as solitude. Loneliness arises when we feel disconnected from others and from ourselves, while solitude is the conscious choice to be alone in order to reconnect with our inner self. Loneliness is the absence of connection, but solitude is the presence of self-awareness. When you learn to be at peace with your own company, you stop fearing solitude. Instead of seeking external validation or the presence of others to feel complete, you find wholeness within. In this way, solitude becomes a source of strength rather than something to fear. You also learn to trust yourself. The constant noise and distractions of daily life can often drown out your own voice, leaving you unsure of your decisions and your direction. But when you are alone, you are forced to rely on your own judgment, to trust your own intuition, and to make decisions based on your true desires, rather than on the expectations or opinions of others. Solitude gives you the clarity and confidence to follow your own path, unapologetically and without hesitation. Many people fear that they will miss out on life if they spend time alone. They worry that solitude will cause them to become disconnected from the world, but the opposite is true. Solitude enhances your connection to the world by first deepening your connection to yourself. When you are centered and at peace within, you bring a higher level of awareness and presence to your interactions with others. You are no longer seeking fulfillment from external sources, but rather from your own wellspring of peace, love, and understanding. This inner peace radiates outward, enhancing your relationships and your ability to engage with the world in a meaningful way. Solitude offers the opportunity for growth and self-discovery. It is in these quiet moments that you can explore new ideas, develop new passions, and cultivate your creativity. When you are not constantly distracted by the demands of others or the noise of the world, you give your mind the space to innovate, reflect, and expand. It is in solitude that you can listen to the quiet whispers of your soul, the ones that often get drowned out by the chaos of daily life. These whispers guide you toward your higher purpose, your truest self. It also teaches you self-discipline and patience. In a world where instant gratification is the norm, the stillness of solitude requires a certain level of patience and acceptance. It teaches you to be comfortable with the ebb and flow of life, to trust that everything will unfold in its own time. In solitude, you cultivate the ability to be present with yourself, to sit with your thoughts, to allow your emotions to rise and fall without judgment, and to embrace the moments of stillness rather than seeking constant action. It is a sacred practice, a gift that allows you to reconnect with your true essence. It is a space where you can find clarity, healing, and strength. It is a time to rediscover your passions, to nurture your creativity, and to listen to the wisdom that resides within you. By embracing solitude, you come to realize that you are never truly alone, for you carry the entirety of your being within you, and that in itself is a source of limitless peace and power. Surviving alone is often thought of as a matter of physical endurance, how long you can last without help, how well you can provide for yourself, and how capable you are of managing your immediate needs. However, true survival, especially in moments of solitude, is far less about physical strength and much more about mental resilience. The mind is the most powerful tool you possess. It shapes your experiences, your perception of reality, and ultimately your ability to thrive. If you want to survive and flourish in solitude, you must first master your mind. In times of challenge, your mind can either be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It can either empower you to overcome obstacles, or it can fill you with doubt, fear, and negativity. The difference between those who thrive and those who struggle often lies in their ability to control their thoughts and emotions. The key is to recognize that your thoughts create your reality. If you constantly focus on what you lack, on the things that are missing from your life, your mind will align with scarcity. But if you train your mind to focus on abundance, on the endless possibilities and resources available to you, you will open the door to growth and success. Abundance is not just about material wealth or external circumstances, it is a mindset. It is the belief that no matter what your external circumstances may be, you are always capable of creating more. When you focus on abundance, you are aligning your thoughts with the idea that there is more than enough for you to succeed and prosper. This mindset shifts your energy from fear and limitation to possibility and opportunity. You begin to see that everything you need is already within you, and the universe is constantly presenting you with ways to grow, evolve, and thrive. On the other hand, focusing on lack keeps you trapped in a cycle of scarcity. It is easy to fall into the trap of thinking that you don't have enough, whether that's money, love, support, or resources. This mindset clouds your vision and limits your potential. The more you dwell on what's missing, the more you attract experiences that reinforce that feeling of lack. You begin to believe that survival depends on external factors, on people or circumstances that are beyond your control. But the truth is that true survival is rooted in mental resilience, in your ability to focus your mind on what is possible rather than what is not. One of the first steps in mastering your mind is learning to control your thoughts. This means recognizing when negative or limiting thoughts arise and actively choosing to replace them with positive, empowering ones. It's easy to let your mind spiral into fear, worry, and self-doubt. But with practice, you can train your mind to let go of these destructive patterns and replace them with thoughts that support your growth. When you catch yourself thinking about what you don't have, pause and shift your focus to what you do have. Instead of thinking, I don't have enough time, tell yourself, I have all the time I need to accomplish my goals. This simple shift in perspective helps you to step into a mindset of abundance. A key aspect of mastering your mind is learning to manage your emotions. Emotions are powerful, and they can either fuel your growth or hinder it. When you allow your emotions to control you, you become a victim of circumstance, reacting to everything around you instead of proactively shaping your own experience. However, when you take control of your emotional responses, you begin to operate from a place of power. You can choose how to respond to any situation, whether it's one of joy, frustration, sadness, or fear. Instead of letting emotions dictate your actions, you can use them as signals to guide your decisions and refine your mindset. For example, if you feel fear, use it as an opportunity to examine what you're afraid of and challenge that fear. If you feel frustration, take a step back and ask yourself what's within your control and what's not. By taking responsibility for your emotional state, you regain control of your mind and your life. Another powerful tool in mastering your mind is meditation. Meditation allows you to quiet the noise of the world and your own thoughts, creating space for clarity and peace. It teaches you to observe your thoughts without judgment and to create mental stillness. In this stillness, you can connect to your inner wisdom, your intuition, and your deepest desires. It's in these moments of quiet reflection that you gain the clarity to make decisions aligned with your true purpose. The more you practice meditation, the more you cultivate mental resilience. You learn to detach from the constant chatter of the mind and to focus on the present moment. In this space, you are free from the worries of the past and the fears of the future. You become fully engaged in the present, and from this place of centeredness, you can approach life with greater calm and confidence. A final aspect of mastering your mind is cultivating gratitude. When you focus on what you are grateful for, you begin to attract more of the things that bring you joy, abundance, and peace. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's lacking to what's present, reminding you that you already have everything you need to succeed. By incorporating a daily gratitude practice into your life, you retrain your mind to focus on the positive, which in turn helps you to maintain a mindset of abundance, no matter what challenges you face. Mastering your mind is a journey, not a destination. It takes consistent effort, practice, and patience. But when you make the decision to train your mind to focus on abundance and not lack, you unlock a powerful force within you. You realize that survival, thriving, and fulfillment are not dependent on external circumstances, but on your ability to control your thoughts, emotions, and actions. In this space of mental resilience, you become the creator of your own reality, capable of overcoming any obstacle and achieving any goal. In conclusion, mastering your mind is the key to thriving in solitude and surviving life's challenges. It is not physical strength, but the resilience of your thoughts and emotions that ultimately determines your success. By focusing on abundance instead of lack, training your mind to cultivate positive thoughts, managing your emotions with wisdom, and practicing gratitude, you create a foundation of inner strength that allows you to navigate life with confidence and peace. Remember, your mind is a powerful tool, and when you harness it, there is no limit to what you can achieve. Thank you for your attention and for allowing me the opportunity to share these thoughts with you. May you continue to grow, evolve, and master your mind, creating a life rooted in abundance, peace, and inner strength.